guys, it's Dr. Pam and it's day 23 of our Holiday Survival Guide Advent Calendar. Today is recipe day. Today, I'm going to give you this killer recipe that I learned through Cooks Illustrated about 15 years ago for roasted sweet potatoes that knock it out of the ballpark. I mean, they are amazing and they're pet friendly. And here's the rub. You don't add any sugar to them. You don't add any sugar sweetener, any substitutes, anything sweet. What you do is you use the oven to help convert the starches in the sweet potato to sugar. And what happens is that when you get to a certain stage, you see the sugar starting to come out of the sweet potato rounds and they start to caramelize. And so you have this beautiful caramelized sweet potato. It's super easy to do. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. Now, first thing that you need to know, do not preheat your oven. Yes, you heard me right. Do not preheat your oven. These sweet potatoes are going to go into a cold oven and then slowly ramp up the heat. That's where the magic happens. That's where the conversion happens. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put foil on a cookie sheet. And I would get one that's nice and thick. Don't do it on a flat one because it's going to get messy in there, okay? And then you're going to spray that cookie sheet liberally with an oil. I tend to use the avocado oil. I love this oil. It has a very high flash point and it's very neutral in flavor. Or if I happen to have a coconut oil spray, I'll use that as well. One of those two. And there are other oils that are on the market, but be very, very careful here because you need one with a very high flash point. And the only other one that has high enough flash point for this is actually going to be a grapeseed oil. But that's a man-made oil and it is not so healthy. So I use avocado or coconut. Now the key here is if you use coconut, it imparts a beautiful flavor to the sweet potato. It marries the two flavors. It's brilliant. But if you don't like coconut, then you're going to want to use avocado oil. So what you do, oh, the other thing, remember this. Remember the coconut oil this time of year is solid? So you're going to have to melt it. The way I do that is I put it in a little cup, have a little bowl, put hot water in there, boom, then it melts. And then I actually use this to pour the oil all over my sweet potatoes. Now, you're going to peel your sweet potatoes, and you can use the garnet, you can use the jewel, you can even use, let me see if I've got one, the Japanese. I love these. These make amazing sweet potatoes, but they cook a little differently than the orange ones. So make sure that if you're going to do them both, that you probably cook them on different cookie sheets, okay? And what you do after you peel it is you're going to cut them 3/4 of an inch thick, okay? Do you see that? Now, here's the deal. It doesn't matter how small your sweet potato is. It doesn't matter if it's itty bitty. If you cut them all the same, they're going to cook the same because the same thickness, they're laying on the cookie sheet like this. So they're all done at the same time. You don't have to worry about scorching and things like that. So yay! So then you take your bowl of sweet potatoes and you pour your oil all over it. And then you put it onto your cookie sheet. Now, when you spread it on the cookie sheet, remember the cookie sheet is really covered in oil. Make sure you do that as well. And then you spread these bad boys out. And you want to make sure that they're just enough apart that they can cook, not necessarily touching. And if you have some that touch, then what I would do is get an extra cookie sheet. I've been known to make loads of cookie sheets for these, okay? And you just spread them out. Again, they're oiled up. Now, once they're on the cookie sheet, what you have to do, that's the place where you start with the spices. Now, sometimes I just use sea salt. Just make sure you put a little bit of salt all over the top of all of these, okay? Those are great for your pets. But you can always add other spices. Around the holiday season, we'll add nutmeg and we'll add cinnamon. So you can pull out your nutmeg and grind it, okay? You can also add your cinnamon, a little bit of spritz of that on top. You can add Mediterranean spices, whatever spices you love in your sweet potatoes, you can add them onto these. And this is what it looks like. Now that is before you actually cover it with foil again. So you have a big sheet of foil. You spray it liberally on the top and then flip it over and you seal it around your cookie sheet, all the way around, because it's going to steam a little bit when it's in the oven. Seal it all the way around. The only little hack I've got for you is at the front, pull the end just slightly away where you can grab it, because this piece of foil comes off after about 30 minutes. So I usually have that available where I can grab it, pull it off, and then close the oven door. So you stick it into a cold oven and you turn it on to 400 degrees and hit your timer for 30 minutes. And it slowly takes it up and preheats the oven with the sweet potatoes in there. Again, this is where the magic happens. This is where the starches convert to sugar. And then at that 30-minute mark, your timer goes off. You pull the little ends that I told you to put on there and pull the top sheet off and then close the oven 8 to 10 minutes longer. Now, because I don't know your oven, watch your oven. You may need a little longer, you may need a little shorter. The key is you're going to start seeing the sugars come out and starting to caramelize. That's what you want, but you don't want them to burn. So at about 8 minutes or so, you take the whole thing out, close the oven, and you use some tongs and flip them over to cook on the other side for another 8 minutes. And then you're done. Now here's the great thing about these. You can eat them warm. You can eat them lukewarm. You can eat them freezing cold. They are remarkable. They are so good. And I often make a batch of these, stick them in the fridge, and put them in my son's lunch. He loves them. And here's another little hack for you. You know what's really good for breakfast? One of these sweet potato rounds with fresh strawberries. The blend is phenomenal on the palate. Try it. It's amazing. I guarantee you everybody's going to love these. They are absolutely amazing. So remember, cold oven, 400 degrees, slow roll up to that 30 minutes, remove the top foil, and then 8 minutes on one side, 8 minutes on the other side. And then you've got the perfect sweet potato for you and also for your pet's naked plate. So I hope you have an amazing time with this recipe. I love it. I hope you take care and have a fabulous day. Take care. Bye-bye.